Thank you so much for watching these videos. My name is Kamia Simon. I thank everyone who has subscribed. At the time of recording this video, we have 778 subscribers, and we are way to go, team. Let's make it 1,000 subscribers. All right, let's continue with the login, and I'm going to log in. Okay, so I'm sorry for the guys. I've been out for long because my Windows had crashed, and right now I'm using Windows 8. So sorry for that. All right, let's continue. All right, so we want to see when we log in, when I go to the login page and I log in, all right, great. We log in and get our name. But look at this. When we refresh, we've lost our login. So which means we're no longer storing our item into the browser, okay? Now, when I go to Laravel, stroke home, okay, I just want to show you this now. I'm spending some little time on this login issue because I want it to get done, and then we get to know how we're going to do. But however, there are some other login packages, or I already talked about them. If you other auth packages, there's SWT for Laravel, or any other person who is not using Laravel. You can have a way of storing SWT tokens. There is also, is it Scatum or I'll say it in the next video. Let me get the right name. So you can see I'm already logged in. Okay, by this time, this side is not coordinating with the session that is already being provided here. All right, so we're going to find a way of storing our credentials. Okay, once we log in, so that we maintain that and we store it in the browser. All right, so that's when our friend comes in handy. That is Google, and then I already know the answer, but we're going to see how we fix it. All right, so so we're going to do Vue.js keep logged, okay, logged in user, login in browser cache. All right, so let's see what we have. Okay, so how fast can we cache? Can the cache be client-side storage? Let's see. Clear the browser. How to prevent browser from opening cached. Okay, so we're going to see what do I get. So we're going to use Vue.js logs out on refresh in Google, and then we find some of the solutions. So we have a solution of what they call a persistent state. Now, what is happening with the view state? The view state is keeping the item temporarily, but on refresh it loses it. So we want to find out one good answer, and that answer can be a plugin called Vue.js persistent state. Okay, so it's what I want to show you. So this is it. Okay, so there is Vue.js Vuex persisted state. So it helps you, create that state and store it, so that you can save the state or get a state of your keys, right? So with that said, however, there is also another. So the Vuex persisted state, here is the npm link, and it's there in the description. So how to install it, okay, and then how to use it, okay. So you just use it again in the same Vue store that we have, okay, and then you go on to store the data. Now in Laravel, we also have a package specifically meant for Laravel. Now remember, I'm trying to connect Laravel to Vue.js just because I don't want to create an API, and Laravel has a good way of doing that, but you can always do anything that you want. Okay, So in Laravel, instead we have something else, which I'm going to link in the description. So Laravel auth, okay, let me say Laravel Vue.js auth, okay, with Scratum. Now there's JWT, is it called Sanctum or something of the sort? So with Sanctum, okay, it's not good to reinvent the wheel. There are plenty of tutorials. Please go ahead, because this video series is not about Laravel. So please go ahead and watch these different channels, okay? And then find a way of using Sanctum. So Laravel with Sanctum. And Sanctum will help you, refresh the pages, and it will help keep the authentication in session, okay? So let me go ahead and complete that. Then we'll resume the video, and then we shall be done with the auth. Okay, so I'm done setting up Sanctum, and let me go to login, and you'll see what will happen. So those are some of the users, and then the password is as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so when I log in, okay, I do get here, you can see, I do have the user that is logged in, and then I also have the token. So I'm supposed to get this token, and I use it very well. Now, let's go ahead and adjust. Remember, we could use our name here. We could make use of the name, and when we refresh, something would happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and uncomment the commit here. And then I also update when I come to the user login. I do update now. I'm using user X here, and then getting the first value, because here I do have two values. Let me go back to, and I try to log in. Okay, so let me first update here. So let me uncomment the state.login, because I commented it for this video. Okay, so let me also minimize this. Great. So let me take in, which means I can take in the user, and then that user will be activated here to the login. Okay, so state.login will give me the user, which user I get back here using the get user. All right, so which means that user should be able to show the moment I log in. All right, so let me go ahead and log into, let me log into customer 20 maybe, and then the number, and then the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Okay, so user X not defined, but I do get, it's okay, I'm going to go and check on that. But I do get, again, the first name and the last name, and then the token. So I was showing you that the token, then the object that has the first name and the customer credentials is at 0 in the array. It's at the 0 index in the array. And then at 1, we have the token. All right, so let me go and check on that. Why it's talking about user X not being defined. All right, so let me first go to where I implement what I send. So state.commit, okay, that is in the login. All right, so state.commit update login user X. All right, so I need to go to update login. I take in user X. Okay, so let me first double check the complaint here. User X is not defined. User X is not defined. All right, so somewhere I've not defined the variable user X, which I need to double check. All right, so user X is not defined. It's because I commented the variable here. Okay, so the response.data is equal now to user X. Great. So let me go ahead and log in again. Okay. The work ID can be anything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When I log in, great. So we have customer. And then we've rerouted to the dashboard. So if I click, you can see the dashboard. Okay, so that route to the dashboard is something that is in the router push. Okay, so now the router push, I'm going to now work on it because I want to put a condition for it. However, look at this. The moment I come back, let's say to the dashboard and I refresh, it goes back to the login. So this is why we need to save that into a session all onto the local cache of the browser. So Vue.js already provides that. And you can see here we have something called local storage, okay? And it's something that I'm going to work on. Okay, so which means I can go now, if I send to the router push, I can go up here in the update and I work something with the local storage. So I already did that, but it would be because I want to store what is in the user X, okay? So it is local storage dot set item, okay? Then I put in the user, okay? So the user is like the element that I'm storing in the local storage because it's the element that I'll be calling. And then I store user X, okay? So I can store as a JSON stringify or something. So I'm going to store user X and then the first item in that with the index of 0. Great. Now, I also do save this because if I commit this, then I come back to the login. I do the usual login like I've been doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I log in. Okay, you can see that everything is successful here. But until I come and click on this and refresh, okay, now I cannot have anything because simply I didn't first substantiate whatever I needed to show. Okay, so let me also go down here and uncomment the router.push. Now, the router.push is a condition, okay, that after I've got back the response, I want now this to be pushing to the dashboard, okay? So even if I wanted to push it to another route, I would be doing the same. For example, I can say that I want it to go to the register. Once the user is in, okay, let them go to the register. All right, so let's try and log in and see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I log in, okay, it has routed to the register. But until I refresh, okay, so until I refresh, nothing will show the other side. Reason why, it is detecting now the user that is logged in. If we go to our navigation nav composition here, you see it is checking v-if the user is logged in. Which v-if of the user is logged in is getting from the store users. But the store users at the moment, okay, which should be the first instance when I come to the store, okay, let me take this back. I'm not storing anything at the first case. That's why it's not showing that user, because I commented this. So let me uncomment it. So which will be state.login.userx for the first index. Now this is to store, but in the first instance, okay, as this is in the local storage, in the first instance, I want this to be shown to the user because it has already been verified. So let me do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I log in. Great, you can now see the name, but when I refresh again, okay, I need to refresh. You get it, eh? So it has, but I cannot go to the dashboard again. But however, I have lost that. So what do we do now? Because we need to retrieve that. Okay, so we're going to go back, and then we need to now get the items. So what do we do? Because we need to get the items now, instead, whenever we refresh, the login is empty. Okay, so this is now why the login should be picking from the local storage. So the login should be picking from the local storage, which means it should be now getting from local storage dot, okay, get item, and then getting what the element that we stored. Remember, we stored the element user. So local storage dot get item user, okay? All it can be empty, okay? So it's like, if it is not empty, we should have a local storage, and then we get the user item. Great. So let's go again ahead and refresh. You can see when I refresh, I'm not losing anything right now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I want to grab the token so I can go to the dashboard of this, okay? It no longer shows the name, okay, but it can show the dashboard, which means I'm logged in. All right, so that is it, and we have been able to reroute. Now, even if you refresh, okay, you shall remain on that, not until it's cleared out of memory, okay? So we're going to go and work on the logout, and then we'll see how we clear that out of memory or session storage so that we can log out. Now, we're going to go and work on the logout function, and then we see what errors do we get. So this means now we can work with our tokens very well, okay? And then we can authenticate very well. So we are already receiving the token, and then we are storing. So just like we've been able to store, okay, let me check here. So just like we've been able to store the login, we're also going to be storing the token. All right, so let's do that in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Also, if you want to support, click on the link in the description to support us.